to the conversation. We are back with you for another show. Thank you for joining us. I've got the crew with me. Greg Kirkland is
Yes,
here.
sir. Yes, sir.
DeMarcus Smith.
Millions, billions, trillions. What up?
And the Jeff Fauntleroy.
Hey, I see you over there doing what you do.
Everybody good? How was your week?
Exhausted.
Good week, man. Good week.
Ain't been bad. Can't complain.
That's good. All right, let's get into it.
Here we go.
Getting to know you a little bit. Best concert you've ever attended?
Oh, man.
Jeff, let's start with you.
James Brown, bar none. That guy performed for 2.5, almost 3 straight hours.
Wow.
It was incredible, man. This dude he had so much energy, man. It was, and I've seen some concerts, but that was one of the best. You know who James Brown is, man?
DeMarcus, what about you? Maybe somebody who was performing when we were all living.
I had to say two of them, because I'm a big soul music fan. Anthony Hamilton,
Yes, sir.
man, he do what he do.
Yes, sir.
And then J. Cole, 2014 Forest Hill Drive, right here in Atlanta.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Greg Kirkland?
That's so hard.
Yeah, man. I can imagine.
And I've been to, almost every concert there is. I think the best way for me to answer that will probably be the most memorable one.
Remember, okay.
I remember when I was a little boy, my dad, who is an immense Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, yeah. Come on,
took
man.
us to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert.
Yes, sir.
And I remember Sonny Emery, the drummer. He was playing, and then the sticks became glow in the dark.
Oh.
And then and everybody who's ever been to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert knows they do like magic. and
Yeah,
all kinds of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
He took his drum set and he flipped it upside
Oh,
down.
come on.
Flipped it upside down. So he's hanging from the ceiling upside down, still just
No
just going
way.
crazy, just going crazy. I will never
No way.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
Mine, you don't even have to ask me mine.
Dude, Patty,
You know it.
I should
You
know
know
it. Hey, so, hey, none of y'all ever been to a Michael Jackson concert?
I have.
Never made it.
I saw.
have?
I have. I saw
I got
the Jackson 5.
No, I ain't worried about Jackson.
Landover, Maryland, at the
So,
Capitol
Jackson
Center.
I just wanted to know if, like, because I seen the video footage of them concerts. I just want to know if, like, when them people fall out. and faint,
Oh, that's
that
true.
real.
Yeah, that's real.
I saw
Yeah,
the Jackson 5.
yeah.
That's real.
I saw him in Landover, Maryland, at the Capitol Center, man. It was
Jackson
unbelievable.
5.
Yeah, yep.
Dating themselves.
Did y'all have y'all?
Yeah.
themselves.
Oh, Michael Jackson, fro, Doc. Come on. Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Michael Jackson, Doc. Couldn't tell me.
Let's get the conversation started. We ready?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Dancing,
Let's talk about Angie Brown Jackson.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Your thoughts on her, first black female Supreme Court of the United States? Your thoughts?
Very proud of her.
Absolutely.
She's very accomplished. I think that it's a great example of what can be done. I think it's good for young black girls, young women, period, to see someone like that who has gone through difficult times to achieve that. Let's just be certain. So for all young ladies who are in a situation, whether it be a poor, depressed area, minority, that showed that if you persevere, you can do it. Sure. So I'm very proud of what she's accomplished through those times.
Nice. I think it's a huge accomplishment, big accomplishment. But I'm always a person that's gonna be. I want to see what they're gonna do. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
Big accomplishment, and I think I same thing Jeff said, man. I think that's huge for my daughter to be able to see that and know that that's a possibility now.
Sure.
So yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
Good. Greg?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I think that it's a great day right now for young black women, as Jeff said, to have a black African-American female vice president, as well as to now have one who's sitting on the Supreme Court.
Right.
For a person who has daughters, I think that it's great for them to have that.
Yeah.
For them to have that role model.
For sure.
And to have someone, and she has proven to be very intelligent. She
Absolutely.
handled herself so well during the panel.
Very well.
Absolutely.
Very well.
She was going through process. So I just think it's great. I think it's a great look.
And you mentioned it as far as daughters. My sister has 2 daughters. Her oldest one, my niece, finished law school last year. Is a working attorney here in Atlanta. And for her,
Yeah.
just finishing up law school. It's great to
Absolutely.
see
It
what
should-
the
it could-
possibilities are.
Yeah, what the possibilities are.
You know,
Absolutely.
Whether you aspire to that or not,
Right.
it's just good
At
to
least
see
it's possible.
what's
Yeah, it's possible.
what's possible
Yeah.
in this country, especially in the days that we're living in, where
Yeah.
you know, all the other racial
Absolutely.
uproar and all that going on, that
Right.
it's still possible.
That's correct.
To achieve that. So
Yes, sir.
all
Yeah.
right. Well, along with that,
I knew it was a setup. I knew it was too good to be true.
Abortion. Abortion law. We know.
Wait a minute, this is not That's Debatable?
No, not yet.
Oh, my God.
This is still the conversation.
Oh, my God, okay.
So let's talk about that a little bit. We know it's a lot. First of all, let me tell you the states with the strictest abortion laws since Roe v. Wade was overturned. Oklahoma, Idaho, and South Carolina. At the onset of fetal heartbeat, you cannot have an abortion.
Wow.
All right. The next group, Georgia, Ohio, Kentucky, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana. 6 weeks.
After 6 weeks, you cannot.
6 weeks.
Wow.
And in Missouri has 8 weeks.
Wow.
8 weeks. So those are
Sure.
the strictest laws. So starting with you, Greg, what was your take when you first heard that it was overturned?
I wanted you to start with Jeff.
Not today.
Well, here's the deal. My thought process is this. You can be, of course, and I know that this is not a quote-unquote Christian show, but understanding the Christian value of our show, and all of us individually, you can be on whatever side you want from the Christian standpoint.
Right.
But at the end of the day, my take on it is there's a difference between religion and Christianity and rights. And at the end of the day, you can argue what you want from a biblical standpoint, but rights are rights. And I've said it before on this show, and I'll say it again. When you start messing with rights, regardless of what the argument is,
Right.
you start fooling with rights, it leaves every right under subjection
Absolutely.
to be fooled with.
Absolutely.
So my whole thing is, a woman has a right to do what she chooses. Now, after that, that's between her and God. That's my thought.
That's good. Good. So Marcus?
Oh no, G spot on. From a personal standpoint, experienced it. I remember a story my mom told me before, and so it's not my job to tell anybody what they should and shouldn't do with their own personal. Just like they can tell me, but
Right.
I don't have. That means nothing to me.
Right.
But for something of that extreme, I hated it because it takes out so many cases that, even from a youth standpoint, young adult standpoint, that I see on a weekly basis, daily basis with students who may be impregnated at a young age, or my college students who are out downtown or in certain cities who out and about, something happens. And so I hate it. I mean, and I wholeheartedly agree with Greg, man. You start messing with people's rights, especially when Roe versus Wade was overturned. And I believe it was a senator in Texas, and I hate.
What did he say? It's all right.
He started focusing on trying to overturn racial
Bless you,
type,
brother.
and so we playing with fire right now.
Absolutely.
But man, women, y'all have every right to do what you feel is best for you, and that's just the bottom line.
Okay. Good. All right.
Oh,
I hate to ask, but I have to ask because you're part of this show.
No, in all honesty, I am very conflicted on this. I've talked to my wife, who's a nurse, and of course a mother, and my wife. I've talked to other women about, just tell me what you believe about it, because I don't know. I really don't. I don't have an answer for that one way or the other. And I think that there's no real absolute in this because of medical reasons, because of things that took place. I just saw an example where a young fetus was not growing a skull, which meant that it would have exposed brains and all of that.
Wow.
And they forced that person, I believe the final saying was that they had to go full term with it in knowing, even to the point where a fetus has died, they have to go
they have to go
full term.
Absolutely.
So I think that we're really playing with some fire here. I think that we really ought to I think that those who are making decisions should have sought more medical advice in this before at least giving that some thought before making that decision. But again, I'm really conflicted on this. I can't give you a reason. I can't give you a yes or no if it's right. I just know that every individual case, it needs to be case by case because of the severity of some of the things that take place. I hate to see that.
But see, I agree with you. I believe any decision of that magnitude, education is important.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the kill switch. You have men making decisions for women.
Yeah, you're right.
We ain't carrying no babies.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, we just making them.
I agree.
So how can we tell you X, Y? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of women in government
Who supported
who
it?
supported it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Supported it. You have a lot of women, and you on the Supreme Court itself.
The one?
You have one before Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes, the one. For sure. For sure.
Who supported
But see, now you're talking politics.
Right, exactly, because that's the question.
Well, the whole thing is politics.
Right, but
Yeah.
so the question is,
And-
how many people are in support of the decision versus how many people are in support of the party?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And what really bothers me is when, they throw the Bible around. And this is biblical. Well, come on now. Let's
Man,
talk interpretation now, because we always say the Bible say, and I also say that if we say what the Bible say, oftentimes we wouldn't even be able to say what the Bible say. But that's a whole nother story for another day.
Well, here's the thing. I'll interject something that I was thinking about recently, and hey, y'all can email me because I'm not afraid to make this statement.
And neither am I.
But the reality of it is that when you start to talk biblical doctrine versus rights in this
Yes, sir.
situation, right?
Yes, sir.
The reality of it is there are lots of women and young girls who make the decision to have an abortion because of religion.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because
Oh,
of,
boy.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
This is good. No, good.
Because of the fear in many cases of judgment, condemnation, scrutiny,
Oh, that's so interesting.
exposure,
Oh, that's so interesting.
all of those things that we do in the church
Yes, sir. You talking
and in
good?
the body of Christ.
Oh, that's
sir.
so
You're talking
interesting.
good.
Many times force young women to feel like that's their only option, because if I go through with it, then I got to deal with it.
So they
I'd rather go
judge.
through
I'd rather do this.
Yes, sir.
They judge according to the Bible, but yet they make the decision according to the Bible.
Absolutely.
Woo! Ooh, I could go somewhere.
So
with
we
that.
want to. We don't want to talk about abortion a lot of times because that's
Absolutely. That's why we
Yeah.
bring it up on this show, because we have to talk about these things.
Yeah.
that are-
Woo!
And you mentioned the God part about it. Isn't it strange that God gives us free will,
my God. But the lawmakers.
but the lawmakers do not?
Shake it up.
And we live in a time of grace.
Sips.
God does not make you
Sips
worship
tea.
Him.
Yes, sir.
You have free will to do. Now, somebody said earlier, there are consequences to every decision you make.
Absolutely.
And you have to deal
But
with the
that's
consequences.
but that's up to
you
God.
But you can choose to live a certain type of life or another.
That's up to
alternative
you.
life. But that's up to you. But if God Himself gives you the free will,
Come on, sir.
you have a right to not worship God if you don't want to.
Yes, sir.
And that's between you and Him. At the end of the day, it's gonna come down to you and Him.
Absolutely.
So
And
what? Choose ye.
You brought up something earlier that's interesting, the medical piece that people often leave out. And there are some states where candidates have said no exceptions.
Right.
Even if it means the health of the mother
Yep.
is
Yeah,
at risk.
absolutely.
And that is just
Absolutely.
ridiculous to me to think that we would put
Absolutely.
an unborn, and again, nobody
Absolutely.
wants to, I don't think anybody, and I will say this with relative certainty, even an example that you use with girls who have abortions to avoid ridicule.
Right.
I would say the vast majority of people who would be able to have a healthy pregnancy,
Yeah.
a healthy relationship afterwards, and a solid means of supporting that child,
Yeah.
and a solid village
Yes, sir.
would be willing to go through and have
Absolutely.
a child and raise
Absolutely.
a child.
Absolutely.
And usually there is one of those factors
Yeah.
is missing.
Yeah.
Either there's the risk of unhealthiness,
Right.
the relationship, or the conception was not
Right. Consensual,
consensual
or was
something like
right.
that. They don't have the means to take care of a child. So you think about what's more cruel,
Wow.
the abortion
Wow.
or the life
Right.
that a child might face and the family might face if there is deformity,
Right.
or serious,
Right.
abnormalities,
Right.
or a relationship that is unhealthy,
Right.
and a child is growing up in a household that, where there's just fighting and
Sure.
physical violence
Sure.
and all those things going on. So what is actually more cruel?
And there's so much evidence of the lack of research that went into this and the rush to judgment. There's a drug that people are taking for another disease or something. I can't think of what it was, but now it's been known supposedly as a drug, as an anti-abortion drug. And now those people with that particular disease can't get that drug
Wow.
now
Wow.
because they say that the
can
other
induce-
folk were using that
Wow.
as an abortion pill.
Wow. Wow.
So I saw that, and I can't think of what it was, but that's one thing. The other part of that is I saw a list of those who are in foster care state by state. Oh God, it
Man.
was so upsetting.
Man.
It was so upsetting. And surprisingly enough, those states, those Bible Belt states, are the ones with the highest amount who
Wow.
are in foster care.
Wow.
I used to work in this system.
Wow.
They are.
Well, and part of the problem is also going to be that if we think that it is only certain people that have abortions or get abortions,
Totally wrong.
we're mistaken.
Totally wrong.
Absolutely.
The problem will be when those who make the policy
Yeah.
Run into that
have those
situation.
Oh, yeah.
scenarios
Yeah.
they need
Yeah.
to do it.
Then they're gonna be they're gonna charter a jet,
Oh,
dog.
absolutely.
They're gonna charter a jet.
There will be secret ways
Uh-huh.
to
Absolutely.
make that happen.
To get over that
Absolutely.
wall.
Absolutely.
It'll
Absolutely.
Yeah, the wall. They won't want that wall from
Yeah.
here,
Right.
like
They take-
Mexico. Then.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's that gap in that wall?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what happens. You pass laws for the hurt
For them.
people.
Yeah.
That sometimes come back and you have to.
Ooh, I was itching to
What they
go
say,
in on this.
what they say in church, if you dig one ditch,
Yes,
you
sir.
better dig two, dog.
Boy, I
Yes,
want to
sir.
go in on this
Yes,
so
sir.
bad. I just try to be
This is not, that's debatable. This
Okay,
is-
all right, all right.
What was your thought?
Nothing.
What was your thought?
I see you over there doing what you do, looking like you look.
Look, we can talk about this a lot. We're gonna take a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Listen, we never disappoint with our guests and our content on Theology in 30.
I am excited for our conversation.
We live in a different time. And so I want to ask you, what does Howard Thurman's method offer preachers of today who really have roughly 10 to 15 minutes to get their point across?
Something that he offers is a sensitivity to the Spirit, right? So don't go into the worship service so tied to your manuscript that you don't allow freedom for the Spirit to move in ways that you could not expect.
Gonna let that marinate for 24 hours.
Welcome back to the conversation. It is time for That's Debatable. We always have a good time on here. We got another good one today. We're talking about accountability.
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 Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that. What does that mean for you, Greg Kirkland?
Yeah, what does that mean, Greg Kirkland?
Jeffrey Pompleroy.
Inquiry minds like to know.
I mean, you know, listen, I feel like since I've been, not even feel like, I've been in some level of leadership roles since I was probably 11, 12, leading adults. And so for me, accountability is just being able to own up to the responsibility that you have. Accountability is having integrity, showing up, producing, no excuses.
Right.
You know, if you drop the ball,
Drop
you
the ball.
admit what you've done and you keep it moving. And you know, that's what accountability is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah, similar to that, following through with the task at hand.
Yeah.
What's been given to you, and in accountability, being honest that in the task at hand that's given to you, admit if you believe that you're not able to carry that
Absolutely.
through.
Absolutely.
You may say to a person, you know, I don't know if I'm capable of that right away,
Sure.
but can you help me out with that, and we can learn it, and then I can move forward.
Yeah.
So accountability is just that, moving forward with the task at hand, being dependable, being there, following through.
Sure.
And then being accountable to that person, whether it's your boss, your wife, and whatever that task is, being there for them
Yeah.
to help it move forward.
Yeah. Sure.
DeMarcus?
Simply put, just taking ownership.
Yeah.
But that's just the bottom line. My grandfather, that's one of the things that he instilled with it. If you make a decision, you
Yeah.
do something, you
Yeah.
own it.
Yeah.
Regardless of the consequence that comes with it, you own it.
Yeah.
And don't allow fear to make you not own that
Yeah.
thing. So
Oh, wow.
Now, you know that's just the easy part. You know it wasn't going to just be.
Wow.
Well, that
really?
ain't debatable. So
Wow.
It's not debatable.
you better hit.
Wow.
really,
Oh,
he wanted to lay the foundation.
Wow. Threw a softball.
He started smiling. That's what it was.
I felt good. I was like, I knocked that out.
I led with that because we got some feedback about that people like our conversation on the last episode about Will Smith.
Oh,
okay.
You all talked about we talked about different opinions about that. So I believe he's been accountable.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What about you? Jeff? You
I
think
agree.
he's been accountable?
I would agree.
How y'all doing?
I absolutely agree. He's been a
Yeah, I would agree.
You think he's been accountable?
100%.
Go on and answer it.
I'm not ready to answer that yet.
Okay.
He's taking ownership of it.
Okay. So you're not being accountable for
well-
your answer, but that's okay.
So
But that's all right. So now, is owning it always enough?
What you mean?
yeah.
Is that enough? I think he's been accountable.
It's the start. It's
Okay,
the start.
but is
it's the
that-
start.
owning it is a start.
Yeah, it's the start.
Gotcha, that's good.
It's the
That's
start.
good.
Because
I think a changed behavior. You tell me I'm sorry for something that you did. Okay, I hear you, but for me, a changed behavior.
Sure.
But this was a
Proves it.
one-time thing, though.
Let me be honest with you. I think that he's taken ownership, but my prayer is that he gets some professional help with all of the things that he may be going through.
We don't need no
That-
professionals.
Can I-
He's
can I-
somebody.
Can I,
minute,
wait a minute, can I finish?
What do you think
Can I
he need?
finish?
What do you think he need?
Can I
Anger
finish?
management?
Can I finish?
Right.
Can I finish?
Finish.
Please.
Can you be accountable to me? Thank you. I think that he needs some professional help to get rid of this rage that he has that would have caused him to, can I finish? To walk up on the stage, slap a man in the midst of a major show, and then cuss the man out.
No, we don't know anything about any rage behind
I
the
can't
scenes.
have. I can't have an opinion.
Rage, though?
Rage.
I can't have an
You
opinion.
will have an opinion, though.
I can't have an opinion.
You know
that was
what?
rage, man.
Will.
There was
Listen,
something
Will.
something was eating
good
him
with me,
up.
bro.
I agree with
That led him to that.
I agree with
and
that.
I pray that whatever
Well-
those things were that he allowed to
Okay,
rail
but let me
up in
ask you a
him.
question, though.
Yes, sir.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah, because we're going to move off.
I'm
of
sorry,
Will
okay,
Smith,
I'm
'cause
sorry,
this
but
is
let
ridiculous.
me
I'm
just ask you,
saying.
well, let me ask you this. I agree with what you say from a standpoint of whatever's going on, it was deeper than that. I said that on
Absolutely.
the last episode.
Yeah,
Whatever
man.
It was deeper than that.
Yeah, it was
right?
deeper
so
than
whatever
that.
it was that he's dealing with, we
Yep.
pray that he deals with that.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
But the question is about accountability. And so the question is, does him getting help, does that mean accountability to the person that he wronged? Like, it doesn't.
Is that making him more
necessary?
accountable?
Right.
Accountable to
or
himself.
or does he just? Or that's for himself.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so that's accountability.
And we
to
got,
Yes, sir.
and that seems like everybody
sir.
nowadays, whenever something happens, everybody say they need therapy. Everybody don't need therapy. He slapped somebody.
He had slap therapy.
You
That
need
was-
therapy.
that was-
Slap boxing.
No, you need therapy.
That-
for
I
that.
believe that. I believe that. All right. Let's talk about, we talked about apologizing.
Okay.
Why is it so hard to apologize?
That's only for women.
Woo!
Well,
Woo!
ladies and gentlemen, I ain't say it.
I ain't say nothing.
He said that.
Woo!
Ladies, he said that.
Leslie, your husband said that. Your husband
I said it.
Elaborate, young man.
I said it.
We're going to let you have the floor.
You got to have the flow.
Okay, what does that mean?
I won't say that women cannot apologize.
How does it feel out there on that island?
You on a ledge with a saw and you cutting the wrong end.
Listen, I am not saying that women cannot apologize.
That's
But
kind
I
of what you
will
just said.
say that women have trouble apologizing.
You don't?
I don't have trouble
Okay,
apologizing.
so all right.
No, I don't.
So you don't.
Remarks of Greg
okay.
Kirkland or Greg Kirkland.
So well, let me turn to the other two who are still on the tree with
Who's
me.
still gonna be on the
Yeah,
show?
be on the show.
Y'all have wives? Y'all have wives?
No comment.
Jeff,
I do.
why is
have
it
a
hard for
wife.
people to apologize?
And my wife apologizes.
Is it hard for you to apologize?
No, sir.
No, he almost couldn't say that.
Tell me the question again.
Why is it? It wasn't a really hard question, sir.
I'm sorry.
Why is it hard for people to apologize?
Because people don't want to take ownership in the wrong that they've done. It means accountability. And here's the other part, the real crazy part, is some people don't believe that what they did wrong was wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good.
That's true.
That's good.
very good.
That's good. Now I do believe that.
They can't take
I think it's the a lot of it too is the shame
Yeah.
of what you've done. You know, when you're so ashamed when you verbalize something that is shameful.
Yeah.
It adds. You know, it adds to that.
But the women,
Absolutely, it adds to that.
I know apologize. I'm just saying.
DeMarcus,
I think it's the fear.
can we slap my chair?
Yeah, I think we just gonna have to stay right
I'm just
here.
saying, women I know apologize.
I think it's the fear of rejection, the fear of shame for people, because it depends on the who. Because if I wrong a person that really doesn't mean much to me, then it is what it is.
Oh.
But if I wrong somebody like my wife,
Whoa, say that again.
Wow.
Whoa, yeah, you almost slid past
It is
that.
all coming out today. Good
No, say that again.
gracious.
So,
Y'all let him meet.
if I wrong somebody, and it depends on the wrong, but if I wrong somebody that
doesn't
means
mean
nothing to me, and I apologize, it is what it is.
Gotcha.
Oh,
okay.
okay. After you
After
apologize.
you apologize.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
what it
That
is.
didn't
okay.
come out at first.
right.
Oh,
Yeah, that ain't
They thought
right.
We already talked about it.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
no.
Gotcha.
And when I apologize, it is what it is.
Okay.
But if you mean something to me,
Then it's
I think
important.
people hold back because of, you said shame, I say fear, rejection, whatever, because now I not only got to face you, but I also got to sit back and see what your response is going to be to me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And what I meant by some people, a changed behavior is more proof than an actual apology, some people know they're not going to change. So it's like, I ain't saying I ain't apologizing. Take me as I am. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
That's just how I am.
I got one of those.
Now, do apologies mean more, kind of tagging along to what you said, do apologies mean more from people who do mean a lot from you, to you, or people who you don't really know that well? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I would say yes for people who mean more to you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, I guess speaking from people who don't mean much to you, you're gonna get wronged every day by somebody.
For sure.
Yeah.
100.
Somebody's gonna do something stupid. They're gonna
Yeah.
mess you. Even if it's just cutting you off in traffic or
Right.
whatever.
Yes, sir.
Somebody's gonna wrong you every day.
Right.
Right.
And-
But now if it's somebody that's important to me and they wrong me,
It
yeah.
cut different.
it cut.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
know, one of the
That's
things
what
I try to
that's a good
do
point.
is I try to think about, man, like what could really be going on in that person's mind that caused them to do that.
Yeah.
See,
You
I
understand?
don't think,
But you
I get
said
that's a
it.
good point. I
Sometimes
don't think
people don't
that
know.
deep, and I get that, and I wish I was there.
I'm talking about people who are close to me.
I get that, and I
People
wish
who
I
are-
was there.
People who are not close to me, they just having a bad day. I ain't even gonna get involved in that.
I'm not there yet.
But you're not where?
I don't, when he
I mean, I feel you.
said
But-
he tried to figure out why they might have did that.
Yeah.
I'm not that mature yet to where I think
am
that I'm just not where people. I don't try to
You're
figure
trying
out.
to figure out why they did
Yeah,
it.
I'm
No,
not
it's
trying
just
to
a thing
figure out
of you
why
think
would
like-
they.
Okay, so
why
it's
would
With
they
all
do
that
that?
we've been
All right, so
doing,
what-
My focus
why
is
would
on
that
you
person
know better.
do that?
You
Okay,
know
that-
better.
that's what I was gonna
That's
ask.
what
Well, I
think
know
about.
that, but then I think like, okay, wait a minute.
Now that's a great perspective. I'm just not
Let me
there,
dig a little
honestly.
deeper
I
and
see,
see what's
I don't-
in that person's head and look through their lens to see why they did that, because there's something else going on.
Yeah.
There's something else going on.
I don't. I find myself not getting hurt by people who I don't know really well.
Yeah.
Or who like newer relationships.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because it just the armor is is thicker than that.
Sure.
But people who long-term relationships.
Right, absolutely.
Then it's like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's why I say I don't think that way that you think, because the longer term relationship, we've been knowing each other a long time.
Right.
You know.
well,
and that's what makes me think like,
Yeah.
man, what
Okay,
is
that
it
makes sense.
What
That
is
makes
it
sense.
that's going on with this person that would make them do that?
and I read something one time that said, recently actually, that said, betrayal doesn't hurt because of the action. Betrayal hurts because of who did it.
Right. Exactly.
The
Yeah,
cut.
man.
That-
Yeah.
That's a whole different cut.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
That
That's a
is
whole
so
You're
correct.
right. You stealing from me is catastrophic.
Yeah.
A stranger stealing from me it's a problem that he did it, but it doesn't. It's
Right.
not personal.
Right.
And they still can catch that
It's
Will
not
Smith.
personal.
though.
So the betrayal comes from
Yeah, they ain't
who
gonna
did
get no
it.
slap
I
though.
agree with that.
Yeah, the betrayal comes from,
But
I
now-
can't believe you would do this to me.
If a person apologizes to me now, that don't mean that it's total reconciliation.
Okay.
Like I ain't got to, there's levels.
That's right, and that's the next question. What does it look like for you after somebody has wronged you? What does that relationship look like? They've wronged you and they've apologized. Let's say they've apologized.
Again, for me, man, it's a changed behavior over time. I got to see, that your behavior has changed before I let you draw closer to where your status was with me before. Unfortunately, I have some people, man, who have not apologized, and I don't know how those relationships will be, because to me it's just like, look, I did what I did, and you just gonna have to take it. And it's like,
Nah, you got to see me.
it's like, okay, cool, you drew the line. Now I know
see where we stand.
You know what I'm saying? So okay,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Greg?
now I'm forgive you because I don't want to carry it, because
Right.
that's a cancer
Right.
that messes up me.
Absolutely.
And then I
I just think that,
put some cement shoes on.
with,
I'm sorry.
with a person that apologizes, and I think that's your question. Your question is geared toward people who actually apologize.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I think that when a person actually apologizes, then for me, I'm the type of person where forgiveness is automatic.
But I never.
Right, yeah.
I'll never forget.
That whole forgive and forget
Yes, sir.
is something different.
So
I know.
forgiveness
See, I
is
can forgive
automatic
you
with
Really?
if you apologize.
Oh, okay.
And well, I can even go a step further. Now that's gonna go deep.
What does that look like?
That's gonna go deep if I go further, though. That's gonna go
What
deep.
does that look like when you say it's automatic forgiveness? What does forgiveness look like to you? And let's just give a scenario because we want to help.
Sure.
Want to help people.
Sure.
If you found out I said something
Yeah.
negative about you that I know wasn't true, but I said it,
Right.
and
Okay.
I came back and said and apologized.
Right.
What does that look? That forgiveness? You say it's automatic.
Okay.
What is this? Walk us through that.
All right. So let me give the answer this way,
Okay.
which is gonna go. I'm gonna have to go to the depth of what I said. I would have to go with Jeff. I read a book called Forgiving Forward.
Right.
Okay, by Bruce Hebel, Dr. Bruce Hebel. Okay, because I had undergone a situation in my life where it was a struggle to forgive. So I read this book. In Dr. Bruce Hebel's book, he talks about automatic forgiveness. Okay? Again, not a Christian show, but Christian based. Okay? Jesus died on the cross way before we was even born,
Right.
right? So any sin that I commit now,
It's hard to take care
he
of.
had already forgiven.
For sure.
Feel me? Okay. So his thing is that we, as Christians, ought to walk in that same mentality of preconceived forgiveness of people who do us wrong. Okay?
It's interesting.
Because that's the forgiveness that we received. Forgiveness years before we were even thought of. Right? Okay. So now you ask me, what does that look like as automatic forgiveness, right? You go to somebody and you tell them Greg said this or Greg did that, right? First of all, I'm the type of person where if I know it ain't true, I'm strong enough I'm not even worried about that.
Okay.
Okay? That's me, right? But I am going to consider the fact that, why would Ron do that? Why would you say that?
Right.
And I am going to, I'm not going to wait for you to come to me.
I got to.
That
you
was
got
my
to come
question.
see
I'm
me.
glad you
Oh,
said
sir.
that.
I got to see you.
That was my
Absolutely.
question. I was
I'm not
going to
gonna
ask you
wait.
all that. If you're wronged, do you go to? So I'm glad you go there. Go there. Go.
But
And
that's
I want
me.
you all to answer that too. Go.
I'm not going to wait.
Okay, that's
I'm going
good.
to say, wait a minute now. This is what I heard. And I want to know, one, if it's true. And if it's true, you got some explaining to do.
Okay.
We
Got
got to
you.
talk this out.
Okay.
Chop it up.
Okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I want to know, why would you say that?
Got you.
You know? And then in our conversation, if your reasoning makes sense, then I might consider, okay, I get it. I can see how that was misconstrued.
Okay.
If your reasoning is completely left field, I'll forgive you.
But
That line
Don't you worry about it.
Got you. That's
lie
good.
about
That's good. That's a great example.
That's automatic.
That's a great example. So, DeMarcus, that same question. Do you go to somebody wrongs you? Do you? You can do it two ways. You can know that they did wrong, and you can wait and say, you know what? No, they're gonna have to come and see me. Or do you go and say, nah, I'm going to ask him about this? What do you-
So this is before Jesus and after Jesus.
BC and AD.
So no change, bro.
No change. No change.
Either way.
Only
Either way.
because how I grew up, fool me once, shame on you.
Okay.
But when you fool me, you can't fool me no more.
Right.
You sound like George Bush. Fool me
no,
once, shame
real
on
talk.
you. Fool me twice, can't fool me
You can't
again.
fool me again. I mean, yeah, you can make an attempt, but you can't. Only because for me.
Well, they both from Dallas.
Oh, for sure. It's a Texas.
Brag
thing.
about that.
But if I just go personal, my biological pops, who made a call, chose not to be. I had no explanations for the why.
Okay.
I got a lot of stories, a lot of issues with it. It took me, once I graduated high school, because I needed answers. I personally went to see him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even when I showed up, there was no apology. There was no, it was all excuses of why. Like, well, this happened. That person chose it. No, bro, that's not what I'm trying to hear. I came to you to figure out, you as a man, why. That explanation, it didn't
sit well.
it didn't sit right.
resonate.
Wow.
So my first thing was I cut it off. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. I got married. And so when I went through marriage counseling, one of the questions asked was, have you honored thy father and thy mother? Moms, my dukes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Him, No.
Okay.
So I had to then go fly to Texas.
Wow.
Went to see him again.
Wow.
I said, I'm getting married, and it's my job to honor you for the title, because I wouldn't be here without you. So if I'm going to honor you in this moment, that means I've got to forgive you for what you didn't do. Forgetting it is out of the question.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So did that. But when I say fool me once, shame on you, can't fool me again, it's because at my wedding, even though I'm honoring you, you walk down the aisle. People trying to figure out who you are. And I tell people, yeah, that's mine. Because everybody thought my grandfather was. Because that's all I talked about. That's all I still talk about to this day.
Right.
And so at my wedding, because a person wasn't set at a table, because they didn't make this big announcement, I was bad-mouthed at my own wedding.
Wow.
My wife was bad-mouthed at the wedding.
Wow.
And that person stormed out and went back home, and all that came back to me.
Wow.
So for me, I got to come see you again.
Gotcha.
But the difference this time was I've forgiven you. Now this is a whole different conversation.
Sure.
Gotcha.
And so
Gotcha.
to the point, I just grew up at a way where by default, I'll forgive anybody. But if you come back and cut me again, we got big issues.
Okay. That's
Big
good.
issues.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Ron, you know, fellas, to be honest with you, having gone through seminary and then a black seminary and then 2 black seminaries, it changed my paradigm on thinking. I think a lot more analytically now. And where I used to be like, what'd he say? Oh, man, I'm gonna knock the joke out. Now I'm thinking, that's why I said before, hold on, wait a minute. Now, if we're talking about a person that's close to me, person who I feel as though is cool with me, close to me, I gotta think like, wow, why would that person say that? Tell me about the context of what took place to make that person say that, or where
That's
that
good.
person
That's
say
important.
that.
That's good. That's good.
So now it's gonna give me a little background
Right.
of the scenario that took place.
Right.
Because they might have said something, not that it's right, but they may have been pressured into saying something, but I'm gonna look at the scenario first.
Right.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go to that person, you know, in love.
Right.
Like, hey, Doc, what's going on, man?
Sure.
Hey, let's talk about this.
Right.
What's going on? What happened, man?
Absolutely.
But love has many different
You know, yeah. I mean, you know, based upon the relationship.
Absolutely.
Now, if a person is close to me and they just said some raw dog stuff about me, man,
Yeah.
you know, again, I gotta look at it analytically and say, you know, where's this person at in life?
Right.
There's some stuff going on with them.
Yeah.
And you know what? Me saying something to them about what they said about me,
Yeah.
that's not
It's
going
not
to help.
worth it.
Because
It's not worth your time.
They too far down the line with some other stuff.
Right.
Man.
So I'm just going to stay away.
So that's your stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let that person deal with what they're
Sure.
dealing with, because me approaching them,
Yeah.
that's a small thing in this whole scenario.
Yeah.
I love Jesus,
Gotcha.
Amen.
but I'm shaking the foundation.
Is there an unforgivable thing that somebody could do to you?
Is there an unforgivable?
Unforgivable.
Okay,
Is there
so
something-
I won't say unforgivable, because again, that forgiving thing gets it off of me. To me, when I forgive somebody, my thing is, he who angers you owns you.
Wow.
I take that.
So
I take that.
So
Okay.
I give that away. So they that anger you owns you, because when you see that person, your whole thing changes and all that. I can't
I
do
don't know.
that.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
can't
not
do that.
forgiving me. That I don't
So
think you
my
can.
forgiveness is this: I'm getting rid of it.
Yeah. I'm done with
You
it.
did
So
it.
there's nothing that you would not forgive.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I
It's a
am.
yes or no,
I,
Jeff.
right.
You
Yes
forgive me.
or no?
I mean, you do something to me, I'm gonna forgive you, but then I'm done
That
with
doesn't
it.
mean we
But he
don't
said,
each other.
is there an unforgivable?
No.
Nah.
Okay.
No for you.
I agree with that.
no for you?
I would have to say no.
There's
There's no unforgivable.
No.
I can't say.
I'm not
I
carrying
can't say
that.
that.
no,
There's no-
absolutely. I can't
Yeah,
say
I'm not carrying that. Because if I don't forgive, I carry it.
No.
And I say this because there are certain things, particularly when it relates to family.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Understood.
things to
Come
me you can do.
Yeah.
That, you know, I
To
mean,
me.
to me, you
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
it would strain it, and I may not deal with you anymore, but I could forgive it.
Come on, Dr. Clemens.
There's stuff. I have 2 sons.
Come on, Dr. Clemens.
You just some stuff you do to one of those boys.
Come on, Doc.
I'm just telling you. And I will take what comes with that.
Right, but
you will not be.
But there's a difference between. But I think we gotta understand.
No.
What
I'm not
you're
saying
asking.
that I ain't gonna
I
do
know
that.
what you're getting ready to say. I didn't say not
I'm not
deal
saying
with it.
I'm gonna do
I've
that.
said
I'm not
I know what
gonna
I'm
do that.
saying.
Yeah,
I'm clear on what I'm saying. Unforgivable. I know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I'm not talking about I forgive them, but I don't deal with them. But I'm saying you cannot be forgiven
There's no,
in
I
my
can't accept
lifetime
none of that.
if there's certain things you do to my family.
Oh,
And you're going to go chop it up with Jesus and everything.
And you
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
going to get a 2-piece.
No, I'm just, no. Now, again, and I know there's a difference between you can forgive somebody, but they lose their place in your life.
Right.
I'm just talking
They might
about
lose their
strictly
life, too.
forgiveness. There are some things that you
my
do.
Lord.
But that
You
you shouldn't
cannot
forgive
ask for
I mean,
forgiveness.
something may happen to
We're
him
beyond
on the
that.
side,
And
not
I will make it to heaven and sit down and have that conversation.
We got to talk about this. Let's talk. I'm right there with you.
Lord, I know I'm in the waiting room. I'm in the waiting room, but let me explain.
Ron, let me see one second.
You saw what he did to my child.
Absolutely.
You saw that. You saw that person. You can't come into my house, my mom's house.
Don't do it.
Come
Don't
on,
do it.
you
No,
already
I already know you're going.
Come on,
I already know you're
Doc.
finna go.
The preacher in me.
know where you finna go.
The preacher in me, Doc, says
Well, what did they do
to Jesus.
to Jesus? I knew he was finna go to that.
Huh?
Come on here. They killed his only begotten son.
Well, guess what? Guess who I'm not?
God.
Guess who I'm not? I'm not here.
Not God.
Hey,
Again, I have my mom is 72.
Yeah.
She lives by herself. If there's certain things you cannot do
Yes,
to
sir.
harm my mom, and
Yes,
you
sir.
ever get in that, they're just not. You just cannot.
There's a few. That whole
There's a
fuse
few
cut off.
things. There's not many things that I cannot overcome.
I
and I
respect
say
that.
that because, and I say I will not let that. It will not. That unforgiveness will not haunt me, because typically those people I would not see anyway. Like, it's not going to be a DeMarcus or a Jeff or a Greg in my, it's typically, more than likely, somebody who does something like that is typically will not be in your circle.
But I
It
want to say
can,
that. But
and if it does,
but let me say this though. But let me make this point though.
We're getting close.
Here's
We
the
got to
thing.
wrap it up.
I know. I
pretty soon.
got
Go
you.
ahead.
So
Go ahead,
real
Greg.
quick. But here's the thing. The issue with that is that what happens is that unforgiveness shows up in other ways. So
What do you mean?
Your thing is, I don't have to worry about forgiving that person because they're not in my inner circle and I never have to deal with them, right?
And even if they were, you're right. I said that. But even if they were, I would not. I can't.
But even beyond that, here's
Okay,
what I
go
mean
ahead.
before we go. What I'm saying is that if somebody wrongs you and you don't forgive that person, right? You can say, "Oh, I don't forgive them because they're not close to me," or it's just an unforgivable offense. No,
I'm not saying it. Let me jump in there with that. I'm not forgiving them because of what they did.
Right.
I don't care what circle they in.
Right, so
This is
listen,
what they
but this is
did.
what I'm saying. If you don't forgive a person because of what they've done, right? What I'm saying is you're putting it on the person. What I'm saying is that the unforgiveness, though, makes you question everybody that does anything that remotely looks like they're getting ready to do what that person did.
Absolutely.
So now you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I'm with it.
Because if a woman, listen, check it out. If a woman cheats on you,
You're going to question every woman.
you might not forgive her for what she did. You might not forgive her.
That ain't one of my.
Hey, they that anger you, own you.
But then the next woman that come along, you're gonna look at them sideways, and the woman that come after that, you're gonna look at them sideways.
I get that.
So it's like you got to
I get that. Look,
forgive.
Look, we got
That
go.
which angers you, owns you.
It on me.
I don't have to be angry to not forgive. I can do it.
It on me that day.
Look, we always go down this. We didn't even get to everything we're supposed to talk about. Look.
This needs a part two.
But guys, seriously,
Yeah.
thank you all for being vulnerable and sharing your experiences. I know it's not easy, but again, hopefully this is helping some of you out there who are dealing with forgiveness and accountability. That's our goal, to just give you something that's entertaining, enlightening, but also inspiring. So thank you so much for joining us this week. Join us next week for another great show. Until then, take care of yourselves, be blessed, and be happy.